What's up, everybody? I'm Eben, and I'm hanging out with Rob at Front Row Live.
Okay, so I'm listening to Finally,
Okay. Tight.
and then I'm transitioning to the new EP,
Yeah.
which is Past 100 Days.
Yep.
And your instrumentals, the beats just get better and better. Not to
Yeah.
say that your vocals
No,
don't,
dude,
but like
well,
just
that's the goal.
like
The whole like when I was making this, I was like, okay, and I've like my couple producers that I have my little circle, right? And like it's like, okay, guys, it's time to step. Like we all gotta like this next one has to be crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like absolutely nuts. And yeah, that was our goal. Is to just each project is just get better and better and better.
And for Finally, Tell Me was the one that really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Like that beat was just incredible. Like I had to play it over and over.
My boy Jay Cruz produced that beat. He
Okay.
produced that one. Yeah,
What was the idea behind that track and that beat in general?
Well, he played me the beat at first. Like we were going through so I went to Tallahassee to work with him for 3 days. We were up for 70. We were just finishing the Finally EP, right? And
We weren't kidding about 4 days no sleep.
no, dude, literally, yeah, literally, he was playing me. I was like, "Do you have any beats? Like maybe we could do a song." It was the last 2 hours before I was gonna leave to the airport or whatever.
Right.
And he played me that beat, and I was like, "Yo," I was like, "What is this?" He was like, "Dude, it's just a beat." And I was like, "Well, let's make a song." And then wrote the song and just recorded it rough. And then I went back to LA, re-recorded the vocals, and sent it back, and that's how it came together. But yeah, Tell Me's dope. That drop is so hard.
That was so sick. That was so sick. Now, what was the transition from Finally to your new EP now? And is that something that you kind of also were a big part of the production process?
I've definitely made it a point to I am production writing involved in every single song that I do. Yeah. I don't want except for maybe one song that I didn't have, I didn't bring it to the table, right? But I always make it a point to I want to be fully involved in absolutely everything that I can be, when it comes to just my project. Right. So yeah, going into Past 100 Days, a lot of those beats I brought to the table. It was except for two of them, I'm pretty sure that I brought to the table, and we just built it from there. Right. But yeah.
Was About Us one of them that you created?
Back to Us, yeah.
Or Back to Us, sorry.
Yeah. No, I came. Yeah, that's one that I created.
That was another one that that was another Tell Me for me.
Dude,
it just
like
stuck
that
out
one?
all over again. Yeah. So when you're
That's one of my favorite on the project.
Yeah?
For sure. Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Now, when you're creating your music, obviously since you are a big part of the production process as well, how do you continue to challenge yourself with every new track?
I think even just going into the Past 100 Days project. So for the Finally, I worked with just only one other producer. That's my boy Jay Cruz. That's my family, right? Yeah. And going into the Past 100 Days, I had met other people, or just I'd known other producers over time, and just right. And I just wanted to expand, right? So it's I've found my four. It's one's my roommate Josh, two's Jay Cruz, homie from Florida. Okay. 3 is Radio, who he produced all the Why Don't We stuff. I don't know if you know who Why Don't We is, right, but yeah. He produced all their music. And then my boy Brandon, who made That's Alright, okay. And he's a crazy producer as well. So it's my mindset was going into Past 100 Days was let's grow and utilize other people's talents to grow the sound even more. But it'll still be Eben, just because I'm super involved, and I don't want it to I don't want to put out anything that's left field. You know what I mean? It all needs to be consistent. But yeah, definitely bringing more producers into the project definitely made it blossom, I feel like.
Now, what about the writing process? How do you perfect your writing, and how do you kind of expand it the way that you do with each and every track?
Just working with
the lyrics are never the same. I think that's one of the hardest things.
Yeah, it's hard. I've caught myself a couple times where it's I'll sing something a little bit different, but I'm God, that's so familiar. And then it's oh no, I wrote that in another song. So it's I have to go back. It's okay.
You've written a lot of music when you can't remember, where did I hear that?
Or it's just I don't have a lot of words in my head. You could look at it two separate points.
I was being more positive here, but okay.
Right? But just working with other writers, that helped me so much in just getting hearing them and where their melody ideas go, and where they would take a certain spin on a verse or something. That helped me so much. So it's I'm bringing in a lot of people to just have it be a super collaborative, you know, situation.
And in doing so, I guess it must be scary too, because this record is more personal to you. So the fact that you get more vulnerable in the studio with these new writers or this whole team, like, how do you get comfortable in doing that?
Well, luckily, like the writers and producers, like I have a relationship with all of them. Like, you know, I didn't work with anybody like I didn't know.
Right.
So, like people who wrote on the project were like some of my like best friends, like out here in LA. Like, you know, they're like my family.
Yeah.
You know, production wise, like Josh, he's my roommate. So, you know, like
You're just stuck with him, like whether you like the track or not.
Exactly. You know, Rady I've known for years. You know, Cruz I go back like a long time. Brandon I've known for a while. So it's like I was comfortable being super honest with this whole, you know, creation of Past 100 Days, because that's what I wanted it to be. Like, it was the first time I've released anything that's kind of a little bit more melancholy and not all just super happy. And, you know, because that's what Finally was to me. I just wanted to get out like crazy bangers, like, you know, super fun songs that are just gonna like turn up, right? But then I was like, okay, Past 100 Days, let's be a little bit more honest and like open and let the fans see like another side of things, where it's, you know, just a bit more vulnerable.
Do you feel like Finally was more of you trying to discover who you are as an artist, and then Past 100 Days is you being the artist that you kind of want to be?
I think, yeah, that's the perfect thing, because the way that Finally came together, that like some of the songs that like Do or Die, I made 2 years ago. Like, I made this song forever ago.
It's crazy though how you can write something like ages ago, for example, and then like
weird.
it's still fresh today. Like it could still be heard or put out today.
Yeah, so it's like Finally was just me. Literally, when I was trying to come up with a name, it was like when I finished it, I was like, finally, like this, like it's done. Like I made an EP. Like these are the songs that I wanted to do. Like I made this. Like this is a body of work that I made. Like finally, it's finished. And like Past 100 Days is, okay, now you've found your niche. Let's expand on it, and like let's grow. So yeah, that's you're right on you're right on the spot with that.
Now, what song on Past 100 Days challenged you the most, and possibly or almost didn't even make it to this EP?
I would have to say, I'd say When Did You Know? Not because
Did you know it was the right song?
It was like, it's just the most vulnerable, and like it's very, very honest. Like, it's about finding out that, you know, someone that you love, like is the love of your life, has fallen out of love with you.
Right.
And so it's like, you know, that was just difficult to write about, you know, just alone itself, you know what I mean? Like, that's just hard. And then, you know, like I co-wrote that with my friend Macy Kate. She's an artist as well. Yeah. And, like, she's badass. She's super dope. But yeah, you know, it's just, it's hard to write about stuff that's like super personal, you know, personal to you, and being able to finally just release something like that, it's super sad. It's like a weight off your shoulders, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's out, like people listen to it, people like it, you know, it's my feelings and my story and everything.
And now that those tracks are out, I mean, the kind of impact that they had in your life, in your personal life, do you still feel that same impact now that other people are listening to it, or now that you're performing it over and over? Or, you know, has the idea behind that song kind of changed for you?
You know, I think like for that song, like whenever I listen to it, like that feeling will just always come back, just because it's something you can never really forget. Is like, you know, everybody has like a first love or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just like one of those things where it's like you'll just like remember it like for forever.
You're kind of stuck with it.
Yeah. So, you know, and that song was like, again, it was just like super personal, and I just like let it all out. And yeah, that's one of the songs that'll always be, you know, like that.
Now you dropped in between the two EPs, you dropped Lambo. Where does that track fall as far as these like projects that you kind of release? Like, because it's a one-off track, so, you know, was this another way of you testing the waters, trying something different? Like,
I think, you know, it's definitely like the poppiest track that I've done, right? And I wanted to do something like I wanted to do something that was, you know, just like a pop song, because like you can never go wrong. And like my friend showed me the song, and I loved it. I was like, this is dope. Like, this is tight. You know, I changed a few of the lyrics or whatever, like in the song and everything, and recorded it with radio. Yeah, it was just cool to do something like a little bit different. You know, I love Lambo. It's one of my favorite songs.
I'm sure that kind of like refreshes you too, like when you go back into the studio to write on new
another
material.
Perspective of musically, you know what I mean? Right. So it's like just staying in that pop world is so much different than having those R&B and hip hop influences. You know what I mean? It's like I'll try and throw in like a halftime, like looking like, you know, some like hard shit, and then they'll be like, nope, can't do that.
It's not possible. You can't.
Floor, like, gotta do it. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, you know, it's just a whole nother, you know, type of music. Right. And I wanted to do something like that.
Now you've kind of experienced the TV light with American Idol ages ago. Yeah. You've experienced, you know, being in a group, and then you've experienced going on tour with a group, but performing as a solo artist. Yeah. So all of these kind of opportunities, like, what did you take out of them? Like, how did they impact the career that you're doing right now?
You know, with each like stage of those parts of my life, like I've learned so much from it all. And so, you know, being in a group gave me the chance to kind of mentor the Why Don't We boys. And, you know, and like I would see situations that I went through in my group, and it's like, okay, guys, like, this is what happened in my group. You know, I would just like give them advice.
Lived it.
I've lived it. I'd be like, I've literally, like, this is crazy. Like, it'd be so weird. Like, they'd be talking about something like, this is nuts. I've had this same conversation like with my group or whatever. So, you know, be able to talk to them like through things and stuff like that. It's just a huge learning experience. Just being able to deal with, you know, like the carpet being dragged out from under you and everything like coming to a complete halt. Yeah. You know, it's like I've seen it all. Like, you know, Idol, they treat you like you're royalty, and then you're cut, boom, see ya. So it's like, you know, I've gone through that. Like, I've had opportunities like ripped out from under me. Like, I've just learned a lot. And, you know, now finally being in a position where it's like I can really focus on my own career, I'm just going to use all of that, all the stuff that I've learned, just to make the right decisions, you know, and not like mess up along the way.
Well, with all those like doors getting shut and, you know, opportunities that failed, like what kept you motivated to keep going?
I've never been able to picture myself doing anything different. Yeah. Like I don't want to do anything else. So it's like, you know, when something would go wrong, I'd be like, all right, well, it's time to figure it out and keep on moving. Like, I don't have a plan. Like, I don't have a plan B. Right. So it's like, this is it, you know, like this is all I have. So, you know, just got to stay determined. Determination. Let's go.
Well, now that you have these EPs out, you've already been on the road, but I mean, I don't think you've been on the road for this EP yet. So are there any plans for some tours? So
I'm about to go back to Europe actually with Why Don't We in October. Okay. And then things are in the works. Okay. Things are a lot of stuff's going to be, a lot of news coming out very soon. Right. So
8 Letters tour maybe?
I'll keep you posted on that. I don't know.
We'll find out. I tried. Cool, dude. So for those that haven't heard your music yet, like why do you do what you do? What made you want to be a musician?
I think I fell in love with music at a young age. Like, my dad was a professional drummer his whole life. You know, my mom was like a dancer. So, you know, like the arts were kind of always a part of my childhood growing up. So it's like I caught that music bug like real quick. Like, I started singing at my church when I was 6 years old, and then did musical theater and stuff. Right. It's just always been a part of my life, right? And I feel like that has a huge part of why I can't picture myself doing anything different, because I've been doing it just for so long, you know what I mean? And it hasn't even been that long. Like I say, I've been doing this for so long.
You're old, man. Like,
yeah, I know. Like, what the heck? Like, I sound ridiculous, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's always been a part of me, and I don't see it changing like anytime soon.
Awesome, dude. Well, congratulations with the new EP. You guys be sure to check out Eben and pick up the new EP. It's called Past 100 Days. And thanks for watching here on Front Row Live.
Get it. Listen to it.